In my head, I'm like, is that gonna be good enough for what my younger self envisioned? And I was like, I actually don't want to work in Japan. This is my laundry video of this week. I thought I should start off by kind of recapping what I've been up to in my life, as well as my New Year's resolution and also some internal thoughts that I've been having a lot these days. So first of all, what I've been up to in my life. So I'm currently actually on summer vacation, which has been super nice so far because I basically just do a bit of retail work, working at an essential oil store, as well as spending a lot of time with my boyfriend Billy, and then also just trying to get this video thing going. Just been very exciting, and my uni is gonna restart at the end of February because I just enrolled in an honors course. During my final year of university, I was like, maybe I'll start working in Japan. So I did a bunch of like job hunting stuff in Japan, and then I low-key got like very depressed, and I was like, I actually don't want to work in Japan, question mark, that is like in the air. And then so I was like, I need a little bit more time to reflect and think about it, so I decided to apply for an honors program, which is basically like research heavy kind of program that I'll be doing for this upcoming year, and I'm very excited about it. I still need to enroll, and so I have a lot of like admin stuff that I need to do. I just do my part-time job 2 or 3 times a week, which is very chill. Obviously it was the New Year's recently, so I went down to Sorrento with Billy, which is like a coastal city in Melbourne, and that was really nice. I had a really good time there. It was very calm and relaxing. I had a really good time there. And then I guess as New Year's was approaching, I thought a lot about my New Year's resolution. The main thing I have been thinking about for so long is, I guess, doing more long form content like this one. I did have a really strong desire to get better at it. I started last year literally around November, and then it really took off in like June, July, and then I really just stopped making anything. And I guess that break was primarily to like for the job hunting process and stuff like that, but I felt like it was something I wanted to have in my life. That's kind of something I realized, was that I do really like creating videos, and I do want this creative aspect in my life. And that's actually had a very interesting impact on the way I saw my job as well. I always like thought that I was going to be doing a very intense job or something like that, and recently I've kind of been thinking a lot about work-life balance and the importance of that in my life. I think I've come to realize that, you know, to me, I would love to have work-life balance in my life because I have these like awesome hobbies that I would like to keep, and I think being creative is actually a lot more important to me than what I thought. And that kind of leads me to my third part of the video, which is internal thoughts that I've been having. Recently, I guess I've been having a lot of internal thoughts about my career. Obviously, I feel like that's kind of a lot of where my headspace is at right now, like what I want to do for my career, but also if what I'm doing right now is enough. When I was in UWC, I was such a passionate, like strong, driven, stoic child, you know, and I think that there were so much things that I wanted to achieve, and every time I saw UWC alumni just like going into adulthood and doing normal life activities, I saw that as kind of giving up, I guess. And especially with everything that's going on in the world, I feel weird when I do want to be creative and I do want to, you know, do these like video editing stuff, and you know, even when I could potentially see me doing this even as like a beyond a hobby, but as like a side hustle, in my head I'm like, is that gonna be good enough for what my younger self envisioned? Just because I feel like younger me really thought strongly about wanting to do better for the world, I guess, and creating an impact. And I think last year was the first year in my life I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people where I realized I can't change the world single-handedly. I guess I have a lot of conversations with Billy as well, in terms of sometimes the most impactful thing is the impact that you have one-on-one, like to your friends, the people around you, your partner, or like even if, you know, future kids. That was a big realization for me, because I always imagined myself at these big scenes at the UN and stuff like this, and I think over time I really was kind of questioning the amount of impact I could have, even if I joined those organizations, for sure. I'm just kind of mumbling on right now, but I guess in that sense, like, what is the purpose of life? You know, what is it that I do want to do, you know? And I was recently reading this book called The Power of Now, and in that book it said, you know, it's important to keep in your head and remind yourself that you are only a short visitor in this world. I guess to wrap it up, that I think I'm at a stage where I'm very uncertain with my career, but also how I want my life to look like with my creative stuff. How do I balance that in my life? You know, what kind of role do I want these creative hobbies to play in my life is something that I'm really figuring out right now. One thing I do feel certain recently, the more I think about it, is I think I do want to stay in Australia to live and to work, in contrast to how I felt even, you know, a couple months ago, where I thought I wanted to go home. And I think even that is influenced by my desire to want balance between, you know, work and my creative hobbies. I want to have space in my life to be able to do these creative hobbies even when I start working. But I really hope that you're having a good time with Jin. And you know, if I do decide to go to Germany, then I can't wait to meet up with you finally and to make more videos with you for sure. See you next week.